Look, we all want what's absolutely best for our kids, right? We're out here working incredibly hard, making sacrifices, and just doing everything in our power to help them succeed. But what if some of our everyday parenting habits, the ones we do with the absolute best intentions, are actually quietly hurting our child's mental health? Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to uncover 7 common parenting habits that can secretly damage a child's mental well-being and, more importantly, how we can replace them with much healthier approaches. Let's dive in.
Now, the truth is, it's rarely the massive, obvious mistakes that leave the deepest psychological impact on our kids. Honestly, it's the small stuff. It's those little subtle ways we communicate and react that we repeat day in and day out. So let's explore how just making tiny tweaks to the way we parent can literally make a lifelong difference for them. All right, habit number 1, constantly comparing your child. We've all heard it, maybe even said it. Look at your cousin. Why can't you be like your sister? Or, hey, your friend scored way higher than you. Now, to a parent, this might seem like a solid way to motivate them, but to a child, it sounds like one definitive, crushing statement: I am not good enough. Over time, this constant comparison seriously lowers their self-esteem and creates some deep-seated anxiety. So, what's the healthier approach here? It's simple. Compare your child only with who they were yesterday. Did they try just a little bit harder today? Celebrate that. Celebrate their unique, individual improvement over time rather than holding them to the standard of someone else. Remember, we're aiming for improvement here, definitely not perfection.
And that actually brings us perfectly to our second habit, expecting perfection through what psychologists call evaluative praise. This happens when we praise innate traits. So when we say things like, "You're so smart," or "You're a natural at this," we unintentionally send the message that only perfect results actually deserve praise. Children start believing that if they fail, they're a massive disappointment. Without meaning to, we're sparking this paralyzing fear of failure and some really severe performance anxiety.
Instead of expecting perfect results every single time, we need to praise the effort, the courage, and the persistence. It's absolutely crucial that we teach our kids that making mistakes is a totally necessary part of learning. It's like a stepping stone, not undeniable proof of failure. Moving on to habit number 3, being overly critical. If a child grows up constantly hearing phrases like, "You're so lazy," or "Why are you always so careless?" they might actually start believing they can never ever be good enough. Instead of building them up, this constant diet of criticism creates deep self-doubt. They end up internalizing the belief that they actually are a mistake, rather than just realizing they made a mistake.
To fix this, we have to completely separate the child's character from their actions. We want to correct the behavior constructively. So instead of attacking their character by saying, "You're so lazy," try using collaborative phrases. Something like, "Hey, this room needs to be cleaned. Let's make a plan together." A child should walk away believing, "Okay, I made a mistake," not "I am a mistake." This way, you correct the misstep without tearing down their self-worth. Okay, let's transition into section 1, dismissing feelings and using fear. This brings us to habit number 4, which is dismissing feelings. When a child comes to you and says they're sad or scared, it's so easy for adults to just reflexively respond with, "Oh, don't cry," or "Come on, you're overreacting." Now, we usually do this because we want to soothe them, right? But what the child actually hears is that their emotions just don't matter. And that leads them to dangerously bottle up those feelings inside.
Psychology actually has a term for this: emotional invalidation. When a child's feelings are consistently rejected or ignored like that, it severely disrupts their fundamental sense of safety and trust. The long-term impacts here are pretty heavy. It can directly contribute to anxiety, emotional disconnection, and even a deep sense of helplessness when they reach adulthood. So instead of dismissing the feeling, try to validate it. You can just say, "I understand you're upset right now. Let's talk about it." You don't even have to agree with their reaction, but simply helping a child feel heard and validated is literally the very first, most crucial step toward building lifelong emotional resilience. All right, habit number 5, using fear as discipline. We've all seen parents use threats like, "If you don't listen, I'm going to leave you right here," or "I'm calling the police." Sure, it might stop the bad behavior in the short term, but fear absolutely does not teach genuine responsibility. It teaches deep insecurity. It teaches them that your love and safety are conditional. We've got to replace that fear-based intimidation with calm, consistent, and logical consequences. Discipline is supposed to be a tool to safely teach and guide our kids, not to frighten them and create lasting trauma. Moving right along to section 2,
overprotection, and disconnection.
Habit number 6 is being a helicopter parent. This is when parents try to remove literally every obstacle in their kid's path. They solve every problem, finish every project, and try to protect their kids from experiencing any sort of disappointment. But here's the catch. By stepping in to prevent every single failure, they are actually robbing their children of the chance to develop vital coping skills.
The reality is, resilience is built through overcoming challenges. We have to allow our kids to face age-appropriate struggles. Guide your child through it instead of just rescuing them every time. Because true self-confidence, that only grows through the experience of safely facing and overcoming adversity. And that brings us to our final habit, parental phubbing. Basically, this is snubbing or ignoring your child in favor of a digital device. To a kid, seeing their parent constantly scrolling on a phone feels exactly like, "I'm just not important enough." It completely breaks that crucial emotional attunement. It makes them feel like they have to actively compete with a screen for your love, which, you guessed it, frequently triggers some major attention-seeking misbehavior.
Look, children might totally forget about those expensive gifts you buy them, but they will always, always remember how you made them feel. No toy is ever going to replace a real conversation or just 10 minutes of your undivided attention. Put the phone away, look them in the eyes, be fully present. Even just 15 minutes of uninterrupted connection every single day builds stronger bonds than almost anything else.
Let's look at Section 3, what mentally healthy children actually need.
I want you to notice what's totally missing from this list. It doesn't say they need flawless parents or perfect test scores. Children do not need perfect parents. What they actually need are parents who make them feel safe, loved, heard, respected, and encouraged. These 5 core emotional pillars are the absolute foundation of healthy mental development.
Now, if you recognized yourself in any of these habits today, please take a breath and do not feel discouraged. Every single parent makes mistakes. I mean, we're all human, right? What matters most is your willingness to learn and grow. The beautiful thing is that children are incredibly forgiving, and making just small changes today can have a massive, lifelong impact tomorrow.
At the end of the day, parenting isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about replacing comparison with encouragement, criticism with guidance, and fear with trust. When our children feel emotionally safe at home, they're so much better prepared to face all the wild challenges of the outside world. Mentally healthy children aren't raised by perfect humans. They're raised by parents who keep learning, keep growing, and actively choose emotional connection over the illusion of perfection.
So, as we wrap up, I really want you to reflect on what we've just uncovered. Out of those 7 habits, which one surprised you the most? And even more importantly, which positive change are you going to commit to making today? Let us know and share your thoughts in the comments. Because remember, your relationship with your child isn't built overnight. It's built one single conversation, one hug, and one moment at a time. Thanks for joining us for this Explain.